is Housing Development, your go-to source for housing trending information. As always, I am your housing diva, Fleur Annie. The ability to afford a decent house is a critical aspect of human well-being. Housing plays a vital role in a person's standard of living and place in the society. Nigeria has an estimated population of about 200 million people, and this implies that urgent attention should be placed on the country's housing sector if the housing needs of the inhabitants are to be met. We have a lot lined up on the program today, but first, let's start with the news making rounds in the sector. I'll be back in a moment.
Brains and Hammers has made a mark for itself in the delivery of affordable homes, particularly for some international oil and gas companies. This was revealed at the commissioning of a 101 units of residential estate in Lekki, Lagos. The project, which is known as the Kuchingoro East Resort Estate, would cater for Shell and ExxonMobil through their cooperatives, with officials of Brains and Hammers, including beneficiaries, expressing delight at the completion of the project despite the effects of the COVID-19 pandemic. Ifeoma Okoye, Executive Director, Brains and Hammers, expressed delight and satisfaction with the project's completion, which spanned 2 years. According to her, the project, which is a mixed product of 6 units of 3-bedroom flats, 70 units of terraces, 10 units of semi-detached, and 15 units of detached, will cater for different cadres. For Brains and Hammers, the Kuchingoro East Estate is a signature project for affordability, as they are set to transform the housing markets in Lagos and across Nigeria. The Housing Development Advocacy Network, HDAN, has sent its goodwill message following the landslide victory of the former governor of Ebonyi State, Sam Egwu, who recently emerged winner in the Ebonyi North senatorial primary election, while also wishing the elder statesman success in the 2023 polls. Executive Director of HDAN, Mr. Festus Adebayo, in a statement released recently in Abuja, described Egwu's victory as well-deserved, as Sam Egwu has been a great pillar of support for the housing advocacy since he assumed the position of Chairman, Senate Committee on Housing, adding that with his antecedents and track records, he will deliver on the mandate of the good people of Ebonyi North senatorial districts. Block makers and artisans have been enjoined to adhere strictly to quality production and shun acts that could compromise standards in the sector to curb the menace of building collapse across the country. Lillian Goa, the Assistant State Director, Standard Organization of Nigeria, SON, made this known during a sensitization workshop organized by Dangote Cement PLC in collaboration with the regulatory organization recently in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, for the block makers and other artisans from Bayelsa and Rivers States. Goa lauded Dangote Cement for organizing the workshop, adding that such a forum will keep the manufacturers abreast of developments, especially as it affects the quality and standards of products, noting that there was need for the building artisans to know the right mixtures in the production of blocks to achieve expected quality.
To read the full details of the news, visit www.africanhousingnews.com. The Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria has reaffirmed its readiness to collaborate with the new management of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria towards facilitating a robust mortgage system. This was made known during a courtesy visit to the FMBN Managing Director. Our correspondent has a report.
Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN, has reaffirmed its position to collaborate with the new management of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria towards ensuring a formidable mortgage system that will cater for the provision of mass housing for Nigerians. This was affirmed during a courtesy visit of the Real Estate Developers Association of Nigeria, REDAN, led by Aliyu Wamako, the president of REDAN, to the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria, congratulating the FMBN MD on his appointment as Managing Director of the Federal Mortgage Bank of Nigeria.
Federal Mortgage Bank is homecoming by REDAN, and we have a new set of management whom we believe it is only traditional for us to be here and wish them well, and also enlighten them of our activities, and also seek ways of collaborating to make sure that at least the housing provision in the country is smooth.
Managing Director of FMBN, Haman Madu, gave the assurance of FMBN to grant mortgage loans to contributors of the National Housing Fund scheme and to also consider rent-to-own to some of the applications, thereby creating mortgage culture in Nigeria, with the management's commitment to REDAN in availing members of the estate developers and loans to build mass housing.
We discussed various issues that affect both organizations and how we can collaborate and move forward towards delivery of housing for Nigerians. It's been a fruitful discussion, and we hope the collaboration with REDAN will continue under the able leadership of the current president of REDAN, Aliyu Wamako.
Strong interaction and collaboration with critical stakeholders in the housing industry who are geared towards increasing the stock of housing was, however, deliberated on by both institutions, as these ties will strengthen and promote Nigeria's housing sector.
When the future of construction meets today's ingenuity, the result is fiber cement board, the latest high-quality green and energy-saving building material for construction of all types from New Material Nigeria Company Limited. Ideal for exterior and interior wall seating system. It's weather-resistant, fire-resistant, shutter-resistant, water-resistant fiber cement board. Today's light eco-friendly building solution, New Material Nigeria Company Limited, is located at Kuje, Abuja. Green leads the future. Cinema serves the world.
Welcome back. The program is Housing Development. In Nigeria, the rate of migration from rural areas to urban areas has become alarming as more people drift into the urban centers. What are the causes and effects of rural-urban migration? Let's hear Nigerians speak on Voices on the Street.
If you look at the causes of rural-urban migration, and then you look at just one thing, which is what? The search for greener pastures. But if government has put in place a very formidable and a very formidable policy that would enable a form of dividends of democracy, dividends of good governance into those rural areas, you find out that there will be no need to come into the urban areas to popularize the urban area, and such things usually cause for population explosion in the urban area. Because if you look at it, however, geographically, the urban places, the urban settlement is usually smaller in geographical size compared to the rural settlements.
Migration of people from the rural area to the urban, that's actually affected us in some ways. One, today you can see that things are very hard in the urban area, and there are no people again in the rural area, because most of everybody now has left his villages to come to Abuja in the name of seeking for a greener pasture, and it has made everything now to be, scatter, cost of food, cost of living, house rentage, and the rest. Everywhere in Abuja today now, you cannot see any village. Everywhere now has been turned to estate, that's it, and a lot of people that cannot even have the money to afford in the payment of the estate. So it has actually affected some of us that are in the city.
Urban migration has really impacted us negatively because the people that are saddled with the responsibility of providing social amenity at the grassroots are not doing that. As such, you see a lot of rural-urban migration, and that has an impact on terms of security challenges we are facing right now. Because if people are adequately employed at the grassroots. I have no business coming to Abuja to look for a job for crying around. If everything is okay, I'm having my daily bread, I don't need to come to Abuja to make it in life. But because at the grassroots, the local government has been neglected so badly that right now we only have 2 tiers of government, the state and the federal government. You can see that is impacting seriously on our urban, and the benefits at the urban is not commensurate with the inflows of people coming to the urban. Voices
on the street there. People who migrate to the cities think they'll have a better quality of life. However, that is not always the case. Cities such as Abuja, Lagos, Port Harcourt face lots of challenges, and the people who move there do not always have a better quality of life. Some of the challenges they may face include poor housing conditions. While some people migrate willingly to the urban areas, for some, an overflow of the insurgency-propelled migration from battered communities in the northeast. Now let's take a visit to New Kuchingoro camp in the FCT for internally displaced persons.
The New Kuchingoro camp is one of the refugee camps for internally displaced persons from the Boko Haram insurgency. The camp, which has existed for over 8 years, is located along Games Village Estate in Kaura District, Abuja. However, the state of housing infrastructure in the place is far from impressive. The occupants in this makeshift tent are crying out for urgent intervention.
This is not house, this is a tent. It's not easy to stay here. In fact, it is not our making. It's a very big challenge now that it is rainy season. These badges, as you are seeing, some are leaking.
Our room, when rainfall is coming, all our rooms are leaking. Just you will sit down for one place where the water is not leaking. You and your children, you will not sleep just until the water finish before you sleep. And you use rag to push the roof. You will sleep after rainfall. You will all come out the cloth, and some they have mattress. You come out outside for sun.
The New Kuchingoro IDPs have found themselves between a rock and a hard place. They cannot return home yet as their communities are still threatened by insurgency. Many of them have to manage with the situation they find themselves, as they only survive on goodwill of citizens and organizations. The IDP here wants government to provide a comfortable shelter for them so that they can at least get over the tension they experienced in their previous home.
The situation here since 2014, at least the government need to intervene, like to put the shelters. Once the person has a good shelter, at least even the trauma, the way we are passing through, it will not be like this. Once someone reach to the place, maybe to his tents, and he look at the tents and he reflect his mind backwards, where by then he has house, he has room, he has comfortable place for him to be able to stay, and now he's living inside the tents where the place is so hot and it's unbearable for a human being to live.
The look on the faces of these IDPs may imply that they might have been forgotten by government. They were displaced from their previous community due to insecurity, and where they now call home is far from being good. Housing is one of the most essential basic needs for humankind. For the New Kuchingoro IDPs, urgent help is needed from government and well-meaning Nigerians on the issue of comfortable housing.
We have to understand that a new life for internally displaced persons begins not when a family moves from the conflict-affected areas, but when they integrate into the new community. Life begins when you have a place to call home. There is a need for a durable housing solutions for IDPs. I'll be back in a moment.
Yo, the clock is ticking, but there's still time for you to own your home. Thanks to the Abuja International Housing Show, happening at the International Conference Center, ICC, Abuja. This is your chance to get information on affordable housing solutions, housing finance, mortgage options, and lots more. It is an opportunity to interface with big names in construction, real estate, government and private organizations, and get the best decent housing deals, mortgages, and credit information to actualize your housing dreams. All this is going on at the Abuja International Housing Show, taking place at the International Conference Center from 25th to 28th July 2022. Simply walk in, and start talking. What are you waiting for? Go get your dream home now.
Welcome back. The program is Housing Development. Last week on this program, we watched as some Nigerians narrate the ordeal they go through in acquiring certificate of occupancy. A legal practitioner, Barrister Itote Damisa, will speak more on how to acquire certificate of occupancy.
The meaning of CO4 is certificate of occupancy, and it's very, very difficult to get it by the average person here, especially in the FCT. Because CO4, the process, the bureaucratic process about getting the CO4 is very difficult.
C of O means certificate of occupancy, and basically what I know is just a little bit. I know that you have to go to the development authority to get that particular document. Then they will check if they have cleared the documents in their own at their own end, if it's maybe available for residents, if that's what you want to use it to do, or depending on commercial purposes, if that's what you want to use it to do.
The certificate of occupancy, by simple, unambiguous definition, is a document, is a certificate issued to you as a landowner. Section 9 of the Land Use Act specifically, empowers the governor, the state governor, and of course, for the case of the FCT, the president who has delegated his duties to the Minister of Federal Capital Territory. So empowers the governor to, in his own hand, in the words of the Constitution, in his own hand, issue certificate of occupancy. So all applications for COO, all application goes directly to the governor, and the governor cannot delegate. He signs everything, because that is what the Land Use Act does. So that is a major constraint, as a bottleneck, is a major bottleneck to you acquiring it. And specifically, another issue we need to consider is the administrative bottleneck. The human interference from one place to the other before it gets to the governor. Because you pick a form, fill in your data, fill in your details, and bring your passport. Passport must be white background, all those things. Then people are also, trooping in and out of the offices. So it's a challenge, because before you move from one place to the other, before it's almost 2 years. Then another issue under the administrative bottleneck is the financial involvement. It is expensive, for you to procure your COO. I know in procurement of COO, it is measured by square meter, actually in Abuja. It's measured by square meter. So a COO payment, probably in a place that is into the interland, into the suburb, will be different from a place like the heart of the city. So the financial involvement is also a constraint, because people do not have money to procure this COO. And even when they now want to pay for it, the procedure for payment is not simplified, as you have to move from one place to the other. And before for the state governor that has 4 years to spend in the office, he will not spend all of his time signing COO. And maximum of 8 years, he will not also spend all of those 8 years signing COO. So these are the issues that I consider as the challenges, to you procuring your COO in Nigeria. We must begin to involve, policies, processes that actually shows that we are in a saner climate. Because in saner climes, things are simplified for citizens. But here, the reverse is the case. We make things unnecessarily cumbersome for, our people. For me, we must begin to elect leaders that will certainly look at those issues. Like the Land Use Act, let us begin to think how we can review, amend, or outrightly repeal and come up with a fresh land use. And land is so important, very important, that we cannot, be toiling away, toiling with it. So these are the issues we must also consider.
Barrister Itote Damisa there, speaking on processes involved in acquiring certificate of occupancy. Up next is Isons Court, a fully residential project developed by Isons Homes Limited.
Isons Court, developed by Isons Homes Limited, is a residential project located at the Life Camp axis of Abuja, sitting on 2,900 square meters plot of land, housing 6 units of 4 bedrooms terrace duplex, and aimed at ensuring comfortability at its peak for intending subscribers and luxurious home owners. During a site tour with housing development crew, Mr. Onyeka Chibweke, the project consultant of Isons Homes, he related the uniqueness of the project with its outstanding features, revealing the good road network, accessibility and proximity to the central area of Abuja.
It has such service facilities as the generator, because we have, as you can see, I showed you the generator base, 200 kVA generator to service the estate. Then it has a CCTV camera and uniform security men. That's the security house there. And it also has a children's playground, that family or residents here can have their birthday parties, even wedding receptions. You can see it's very large, and family get together. So, and the house is uniquely built and uniquely designed and well built. As you can see, each room, the ground floor has a sitting room and a dining with a kitchen and a pantry, then the guest toilets. Then the first floor has 2 rooms with a small sitting room. The last floor also has 2 rooms with a small sitting room, each designed in a way that each of the rooms are well ventilated, and each of the rooms has balcony to it, to ensure that even when there is a little light cutoff, there is also flow of air.
Isons Homes, though luxurious, has a flexible payment plan that allows would-be buyers to pay comfortably. Mr. Onyekachi gave the assurance on the consideration of utmost service and provision of top-notch relaxation for prospective owners, as it has gone through all processes with the FCDA and development control designed in such a way that family bond and comfort is achieved.
You need to pursue one because you have a guarantee of what you are buying. The land is a residential land, it has a CFO, and is approved by development control. So all this is the first security. That is the first thing any buyer or any subscriber should inquire about. Is the land genuine? Is the design approved? All this we have. The land is genuine, it has a CFO, and it is approved by development control. This is a guarantee investment. Then the design is unique. The space is what we did not compromise. The land size is 2,900 square meters. Imagine 2,900 square meters having 6 units of 4-bedroom terrace duplex with a room BQ. The internal space is incomparable. The external space is something that you cannot get anywhere else.
Isons Homes, they are ready against all odds, as effective quality control remains standard throughout construction, with durable building materials that will ensure the protection of lives and properties.
To subscribe to Isons Court, call the numbers displayed on your screen. That is it on today's episode of Housing Development. Thanks for keeping a date. Let's do this again same time next week. Until then, do have a fabulous weekend. I remain your housing diva, Fleur Annie.